All of steps of healing come with a fight. They don't just get handed on your plate while you're sleeping and you wake up in a total different state. It's not true. For example, to put laziness to rest in your past, it comes with a fight. To maintain your purity, it comes with a fight. To walk away from greed or lust, it comes with a fight. But I give you some hope and excitement today. The fight is fixed. If you are a Jesus follower and your hope is assured in that environment, then you can come and address these issues in your life and the fight is fixed. It's been fixed so that you win. It's been fixed. It's worth the fight. Many people know what they want, but they don't know what it takes. Let's look at 1 Kings chapter 19 and see Elijah. He's coming to put the mantle on Elisha, and Elisha's working his little butt off out in the paddock, and we see in verse 19 it takes a quick response. When you hear the call of God brought to your life in an area, when He comes to you and He says, this is where the heart check is needed right now, this is your next step, whatever that call of God is on your life, and you can give a quick response. Verse 20, if you hesitate when God lets you know what He wants, you'll talk yourself out of it. That is a fact, is it not? All of a sudden, you'll be so waxing lyrical of all the reasons why not. What about, can I go say goodbye? Can I? We always come up with a list. So do it quickly. Do it quickly. Don't hesitate. And verse 21, the previous season and some relationships become part of your history, not your future. There's no plan B. You've burnt the past. You're moving forward. Psalm 119 verse 113 talks about being double-minded. Hate is the most powerful motivation for change. Isn't that horrible? Know what you value and hate what destroys you. Come back to that value list. I hope you've got one. Double-minded. I love what it does for me, but I hate what it does to me. Self-pity drives me to carbohydrates and sugar, but I hate the outcomes. Anger gets people to do what I want, but then I hate being alone as a result. Double-mindedness disturbs my inner peace and puts me in turmoil. I love to complain and tell everybody about my heartache, but I don't like people avoiding me when they see me coming. I love the high that I get when I have that substance, but I hate the outcome. You have to create a new habit. You have to create new habits. It takes time, consistency. It can be just those good habits of spending time in His presence, attending physically in the service, not running off to do the laundry, or not daydreaming about what's happening for lunch, or staying intentional, present right through when you're there to get everything you can from reading the Bible. And the more that you do it, like every other good habit, after you do it and you stay consistent, it's just a hard discipline to start with, but it becomes a desire. When you've done it longer, you realise this is so good. This is so good. I get hungry for the more. When you know who you are, you'll know what to do, know what your values are. So in most childhood homes, there's continued lessons that happen for behaviour modification is the modern word for it. And we all know about those things. It's the cause and effect. And behaviour modification continues as adults. We do it because I want to have a date. I want a second date. I want a job interview. I want to get through to the second job interview. I want to be accepted. I want to be invited to places. I want them to continue inviting me to places. So I choose to modify my behaviour to be acceptable. That's out external things that we do. But what do we do about the internal things? We've got very good at doing the external. There are two things that we must do, two habits that we've got to take on to ensure that internally we get it right. Now, we all know, we've seen it whether it's in your own home or at work or on the news, or you see people who all of a sudden they've been double-minded. All of a sudden, all of what they've been involved in secretly for a long time's come to light. And you think, wow, how could they do that? How could they live with themselves like that? I could never. My conscience and integrity would never allow me to get in that situation. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It could happen to you. It could happen to any of us. And the best way to keep those things happening to us is, one, acknowledge that yes, it could happen to me. Don't be in denial. You're not some superhuman. We're all human. And number two, take steps to ensure that it doesn't. Be preventative in how you live. There are lots of things that we can do to keep those things. Our heart and those things that we do, the preventions, those things that we do to guard and protect our heart in those ways, ensures how wide the gap is between who I really am and who I pretend to be. The ultimate thing is to have no gap. But that means that you have to be constantly assessing and checking your heart to know, is there a gap? Or are you believing your own illusion of who you are? So the first habit that I mentioned is surrendering our will. Surrendering our will to God every day. God, what are we going to do today? Here I am. Fill my life. My feet, where they're going to go, my hands, who they're going to touch, my eyes, what they're going to choose to look at. God, I'm surrendering all of me to you. Surrendering my resources every day, my opportunities, hopes and dreams every day. It's a little portion of the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples to pray. Your will be done through me today. It's a daily prayer. It has to be a daily prayer. And so you've surrendered yourself to God. And that way, during the day, every time you go to deviate, to hear something, to see something, to go somewhere, you get that check in your spirit. The alarm bells go off because you have surrendered today.